expect nothing less from Julia Quinn.
He's just kind of like aggressive.
So like not consent.
This man like needs therapy.
I so want to cancel this video.
Look at this beautiful natural lighting we're working with right now. Welcome to my Bridgerton series, reading the law. Hi, how are you? We are here to read all of the Bridgerton books. Now, the reason I have my 2 reading vlogs set up for this month is because February is obviously the month of love. And I just feel like Bridgerton is the epitome of white, straight, cis, allo romance. No, I really do like Bridgerton actually. I think that the series does a really great job of improving upon the books in most cases. I remember watching the 2nd season. I wasn't that impressed with it. When I watched it again, I liked it a lot more, and then when I watched it again, I liked it even more, and I was like, oh, the 2nd season is much better than the 1st. We'll see with the 3rd because it's just like keep getting delayed. But I do want to prepare myself for that, and I am in my brain like I have to read a book before I watch an adaptation. Like I have to do it. Like it's something in me. I have to do it. I have read the previous 2 books, so editing Pia, please insert my reviews of the previous 2 books. Duke and I. This is the first book in the Bridgertons series. I read this because I want to read the other book. I don't think it was very good. There's a scene that is non-consensual and very, very unnecessary. Oh my god, it's very infuriating. I don't know why it exists. Daphne and Simon are beautiful characters. I think that Netflix just took this diamond in the rough, to put it nicely, and really just made it polished and beautiful. The show even has this scene, but they make it slightly better. It's completely unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. I wanted more from this book, especially since watching the show. You get so much of like the family dynamics and the different characters, whereas in the book it's just kind of like do 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 do. That's what happens. Hopeful that the next books are better. But I actually really enjoyed it. It was like very surprising to me how much I liked it. Maybe it's because I watched the series, maybe not. I don't know, because I think I had watched the 1st season before I read The Duke and I, so but I just love Anthony's story. I think that there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of nuance to both like Anthony's past and Kate's past, and the way that they work so well together is just beautiful to watch, to read about. And I just think they're such strong characters, both in Will and in just like their well-developedness. And also like the circumstances weren't, I think the circumstances made a little bit more sense. In the series, like it's very drawn out, their love story, and like will they, won't they get together, because they didn't want it to be so similar to the 1st season, which I understand, but I did kind of feel like this was a little bit, I don't know, better to read about. Whatever. I gave it 4 out of 4 stars. It was definitely a great read. Like I said in those clips, I gave the 1st book 2 stars, the 2nd book 4 stars. I find the epilogue to be like unnecessary. The second, and actually they have epilogues, but the 2nd epilogues to just be like, hey, you're happy, like, okay. So we don't care about those. But the actual books. I've read the first 2. I'm not gonna reread them for this vlog because I caught you up. Like, great, we're already 3 books in. But now we can actually get to reading the rest of these books. There's too many books anyway to like read all of them in a vlog. Although Gavin did a great job, and I will link his video down below, Gav from How to Train Your Gavin. Know him and you know me. It's like, that's weird for you. He did this sort of video as well. A lot of people have done. I'm not fucking new. Anyway, I've started an offer from a gentleman. I'm getting this from my library, like the audiobooks, and I have the book on my iPad. But I did start this book. This is Benedict's story, so he is number 3, but he is chronologically number 2, like because he's B, you know, he's the 2nd child. And I'm really liking Benedict. I don't know if I like him because of the series or because of what we've seen of him in the previous 2 books, but he just seems more like fun to me. Like he just seems like the more fun Bridgerton man, I guess. So this one, An Offer from a Gentleman, is like a Cinderella retelling, and we know I love a retelling. I love a retelling every day of my life. So this is basically, so Sophie Beckett, she is the illegitimate daughter of an earl. Let's retell the story of Cinderella. He gets married, he dies, she has stepsisters, they hate her, they make her, you know, like work for them, and she goes to this ball, the masquerade ball, and she meets Senor Bridgerton. And that's where I'm at so far. I did start this because I was reading this book yesterday and I was really liking it, but unfortunately I had some triggering content that made me sad. I can't come up with a better word than sad because it's like a very complicated emotion if you've been reading a book and it like triggered you in some way. So I was like, I need something, and I was like, Cinderella retelling, and I was like, oh, beautiful. My ears, I love it. So I'm 15% into the book right now, and they have just met. So I haven't just met. They're currently chatting. It's kind of funny. I love Julia Quinn for just like completely turning like the Regency like era like on its head. Like there were so many apparent like rules to like upper crust society of like not being intimate and not like even like touching, or like you have to wear gloves, like all this stuff, like, and like in their first meeting they're like just fucking making out, and like it's so funny. Julia Quinn, she just like knows, she knows what the girlies want. I have seen like very mixed reviews of this one. I haven't looked at the reviews of the other ones. This is the book I'm starting with. Today's Saturday. It is below freezing today. Actually, I can tell you it's getting warmer, which is nice because of the sun, but it is -3 right now, just in case you don't believe me. -3, but it feels like -22. Just girl, I think. So I am staying inside. You're like actually not supposed to be outside for longer than like 15 minutes. So I'm going to be doing homework and reading today, which is very chill. Just have like a chill little vibey of a day, which is why I want to start this vlog. Hi friends, the next day, and I'm here to update you because I finished Benedict's book, An Offer from a Gentleman. I'm so shocked that I read this so fast. I was like obsessed with it yesterday. I was very into reading it, and it like went by so fast, and it was very fun and entertaining. Do you not have like, I'm gonna go with like, I'm trying to figure out, I guess we'll go with like things I liked first and then things that I didn't like, because I give this 2.5 out of 5 stars. So like let me just like explain to you, because I read it really fast and like I had a fun time reading it. But like anyway, things I like: love Violet freaking Bridgerton. Mama Bridgerton literally slays. I love her so much. She is an agent of chaos. They are my favorite types of characters. Like, I don't know, I feel like there are a lot of characters in like shows and books and stuff that aren't necessarily like, I don't know, like purely good, but they're just like creating like chaos, and it is my favorite thing to experience. So I just love that she is just like looking out for her kids so much and just wants them to find love, and I love her for that, and that she gets like the other Bridgerton sibs involved to be like, yo, Benedict, like you're in love with Sophie, you two are in love with each other, like let's get you together. And I really like that. I think it's so fun. And I did like Sophie as a character. I think she is very like Cinderella-y, obviously. She went through it, you know, like she was put through the ringer, and she like stood by her morals, which I really liked like throughout the book. She never wanted to be someone's mistress. She was like, that's all I can have, that's all I can get from this guy, all I can be is his mistress, and that's, I want something better for myself. And like I just love that. That was a slay. And I like, those are the things I like. What I didn't like about this book, I really thought that because I like I do like Bridgerton, okay. Because I like Benedict so much in the show, and I can't remember how much we see of him in the previous books. We didn't see too much of the other siblings in this book. Really not like the older ones, like, well, not older necessarily, but like the ones that we saw that had their own books already. But I really like Benedict because he's like an artist and he's like very creative and stuff like that. But like we see like maybe 2 scenes where he's an artist, but he's like a secret artist, which I didn't know. And yeah, it's just not like a big part of him, and he doesn't really have that crazy of a personality, except he's just kind of like aggressive. There's a little bit of like some problematic stuff in this book. Sophie and Benedict like have a few pretty blowout arguments, just generally about how like they're in love but like cannot be together, and for most of it Sophie's like not telling him that they met at the ball like a million years ago, 3 years ago, and that she's not like telling him her identity and like why she even is being so secretive about her identity. For like most of the book she's not telling him, and so they are really like at an impasse, and Mans gets really frustrated and like respectable, but like he doesn't fight the right way. Like I can say this as a person who like is a real person and not like in a book. Like there are ways that you have arguments with people, and this is not how you do it. This is not how you do it. You don't grab someone's ankle, you don't throw shit at people. Like it's not good, it's not healthy. We get it? Okay, cool. I don't think I needed to tell anyone that, but that was in this book, and I was like I get it, like you're in love or whatever, but like that's not really showing me that. That's really like showing me you can't control yourself, you know what I mean? There's that. So that like made it problematic, and like I thought that the conflict in general was handled well, and I think it got kind of fun with like the little twist at the end. And I did like that it was like a Cinderella retelling in essence, but it wasn't just like beat by beat the plot of Cinderella, which I thought would have been really boring, because I think I said they have like their whole Cinderella moment at the ball, at the masquerade ball. Like they meet each other, she leaves her MP3 player, you know, another Cinderella story. They don't meet again until 3 years later. So like he did the whole thing where he like went, saw the sisters, and was like, yo, you ain't her, and then he yeeted out of there, and then it was like, and literally 3 years later that they meet again and we pick the story back up. So I liked that. I liked that it wasn't super formulaic, but like I said, I didn't love their relationship because of the problematic elements of it, and also just because I feel like Benedict's character wasn't as strong as I was hoping. I feel like he didn't have much going for him other than the fact that he was like so deeply, undyingly in love with this woman, which like cool. I love the Cinderella trope of like grappling with the fact that like you're in love with this mystery person, but then you meet the new person and somehow you don't realize they're the same person for so long. Like it took this bitch until like she had a blindfold on, so half of her face was covered, and he's like, oh, that's her, that's her, I'm in love with it. It was crazy. I was like, dude, you don't deserve her. You couldn't even remember her. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I read that, gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. There's something like very addictive about these books, which I think is why I read it so fast. But I am interested. We did see one very crucial, very important scene in the Penelope Colin love timeline in this third book that was actually in the series. I can't remember if it was in the first or the second season, but essentially Colin is overheard by Penelope saying he would never marry her in like a bajillion years. And she's like, I didn't even ask you, but like you hurt my motherfucking feelings. And so that like starts her like revenge era, you know what I mean? And I think what was really cute about like the ending of this book is like kind of sneaky peeking into the next one is end with Lady Whistledown going like, I'm gonna set down my pen and like live my own story. And I was like, that's so cute of you, because like one of my least favorite things about the Bridgerton show is I just don't care about Lady Whistledown. I don't give a shit about Penelope, especially in the second season. I was like, you suck, you don't deserve rights. And I just didn't care about the plight of her carrying on this secret. I don't care. So I thought that that was cute. There's like way less of that. They're very different medias, but I like talking about them together, so we're gonna keep doing that. I'm interested to see, because I just have like such strong feelings about like show Colin and Penelope's relationship. I'm interested to see, especially since we just had that scene where they're like, shit, like, this guy doesn't like me and I'm in love with him, and also I don't know how Colin feels, to be very real. But I have the next book downloaded. I did like read and listen. It was fun. It was a good time. I'm currently doing homework, but I just wanted to take a pause to update the vlog because I was gonna forget, and then we would have just like, it would have taken too long, you know what I mean? And I want to get started on the next book soon. The next book I believe is like a teensy bit shorter. Oh, maybe the second epilogue is long. I am, side note, not reading the second epilogues because I already don't really like epilogues. The second epilogues are after all of the books, and while they're in like the editions, like some of the editions of the books, they are not chronological, like they're not like in chronological order. You have to read all of them and then read the second epilogues, which is like, is too much for just being like, hey, we're hanging out, we're happy, we have like 600 children, like we're living our life. So I don't really care. The next one is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Let's read the synopsis. Everyone knows that Colin Bridgerton is the most charming man in London. I feel like they say that about all of the Bridgerton men, but okay. Penelope Featherington has secretly adored her best friend's brother for, well, it feels like forever. They're also best friends. Are they not also best friends in this universe? Okay, anyway. My best friend's brother is the one for me. After half a lifetime, oh my god, so dramatic. After half a lifetime of watching Colin Bridgerton from afar, she thinks she knows everything about him. Stalker, okay. Until she stumbles across his deepest secret, shut up, and fears she doesn't know him at all. Colin Bridgerton is tired of being thought nothing but an empty-headed charmer, tired of everyone's preoccupation with the notorious gossip columnist Lady Whistledown, who can't seem to publish an edition without mentioning him in the first paragraph. I wonder why. But when Colin returns to London from a trip abroad, he discovers nothing in his life is quite the same, especially for Penelope Featherington, the girl haunting his dreams. What? How did we get there? But when he discovers that Penelope has a secret of her own, this elusive bachelor must decide, is she his biggest threat or his promise of a happy ending? I'm so curious what his secret is. Like, Mance has a secret? Like, what did he do abroad? I love, he is my year abroad. He did come back in the second book. He was like, yo, I just went to Wales. And they're like, why'd you go to Wales? And he's like, because I hadn't been there before. What do you mean? So I'm interested. We're gonna read that. I will keep you updated. I'll try to update you more while I'm reading it. But I have to go back to The Manhattan Transfer, which is the book I'm reading for class right now. Hello party people, I'm back because I started a new book. I started Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. This is the third book in this, no it's not, it's the fourth book. Damn it! I got confused because it's the third Bridgerton brother, but it's not the third book. Anyway, this is Penelope and Colin's story, and I started it, I'm reading it and listening to it like I was before, and I am really liking it. Like, I forgot how much, like, I really do get confused because I really despise Penelope in the Netflix show. But Penelope in this, like, so far hasn't, like, made any big, like, moves that I really hate. And the prologue is just, like, her meeting Colin and falling in love with him. Like, years and years ago, and it was just so freaking wholesome. And I love being back in this world. I took a minute off this vlog. Very excited. They like seem like a very cute couple that I think I could get behind. Finally, I think I found it. So gonna keep reading. We'll let you know later.
I am noticing a theme with the Bridgerton book. I was gonna say it's like for the Bridgerton characters, like the Bridgerton family, but I think it's just for the male love interests in general. And that is like how angry they get in the second act, basically. There is just always this big kind of like blow up argument, sometimes altercation scene where the male love interest gets like enraged at the female love interest because they're all hetero. I don't know why. Like, it's kind of ridiculous in some ways because like, I don't know, in all of them I feel like they have gotten like way too angry and like I've just been like, calm down. But especially in this one, I guess I'm thinking about it more because it's like I'm just noticing this pattern of them being like, I mean, I guess oftentimes the female character has like a secret, or at least in these last two books, you know, like in the first book, Sophie, Benedict's soon-to-be wife, was like the masked woman at the ball, Cinderella vibes, and she didn't tell him that. And then in this one, obviously, like Penelope is Lady Whistledown, as most people know. It's not really a surprise, you know, Colin doesn't know that. And the way they like just rage on these women is like really upsetting because I feel so bad because like the female characters just kind of have to put up with it, and you know that they're gonna end up together. So it's like, how are we gonna get through your anger issues before we have our happily ever after? Because it seems like you have a lot going on and it's not to do with what's going on right now. Like, you have your own thing. It is like very strange. And I'm just like, why, Julia Quinn, do you think I find this attractive? Because it's not attractive at all to have these men just yet, like, God, it makes me want to cry. Like, why would you want to have like your love interest just yell at your main character and just like rage on them for like keeping a secret, which is like there's just no nuance. Like, I just listened to this interview or this podcast or something the other day, and it was about an actor, and she was talking about a note that she got about a scene, and she was saying how she was playing something angry and how that's like the easiest way to play something, but it also is like the most boring and like the least nuanced, and you have to kind of find something else to add emotion to a scene or a line or whatever it is that's going on. And I feel like I'm finding that a lot in these books, especially with these big like anger scenes, that I'm like, this is so cheap. It's kind of like, I don't know, I guess it's easy in some ways to write anger because it's pretty like flat, like it's a very flat kind of thing, but like it is just, it doesn't make me root for this relationship, but it also doesn't give that like kind of third act breakup vibe of being like, oh, these two people can't be together. It's just like, this man like needs therapy. Like, that's the vibe. And it's sad because I think I've been having this problem with every single book. Like, now that I think about it, the more I think about it, I'm like, I have really liked the build up to the relationship in the first like act and like second act and half ish, and then the men just get so mad for what? And then I don't like it as much because then they like obviously like end up together, but they don't actually resolve. I don't know. Anyway, I'm noticing this in the books, and it's just, it pisses me off. It pisses me off. Like, you, Colin, it's so out of character too, especially for Colin. Like, it's so noticeable. Like, even I would even go as far to say like it's out of character for Benedict too, because like especially Colin, like he's like this sweet bean, and it's like, I don't know where this anger is coming from. It's like, I don't know either. Like, why'd you put it on the page? Hello, my friends. So I'm here to update you that I have finished Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Now, I did like it, I think, more than I liked the previous book. I actually hate the lighting, bro. I did like this more than I liked the previous book, but I have my same blame that I don't think that Colin should have gotten so freaking pissed. But I did like certain aspects of it. Like I said, I liked the relationship. I liked like how like Colin and Penelope interacted with one another. I liked the Lady Whistledown of it all. I think that it had a good conclusion as well. If it hadn't been for like that really problematic like verbal abuse and the letting out of the breath that he didn't know he was holding, I think it would be higher rated for me, but because of those things, 3 stars. So the next book is Eloise's book, and I'm actually really excited. Like I said, some of my favorite parts of these books are like just the side characters, the rest of the Bridgertons, just seeing kind of this world in general. And you do see Eloise in the previous book, the one I just was talking about, and she is kind of thinking about marriage. Like she's kind of like considering that being a part of her life, and you really don't see that at all with like previous books. Like she's just kind of like, I'm, you know, gonna be a spinster and it's gonna be chill. And then like Penelope's like, well, I don't know if I want this life, and she's like, I don't know either. Like, I don't know, like I want freedom, but like sovereignty in marriage, like I don't know. So I'm very interested to see what Sir Philip with love is gonna entail, because I really hope that it's not like a Taming of the Shrew moment where Eloise is just like boring, like becomes a boring character. So we shall see. Hi friends, I'm going to update you on From Sir Philip with Love while I do my hair. I just washed my hair for the first time since dyeing it, and it's very poofy. I have started From Sir Philip with Love, and I have thought, I can't remember in the books yet if we meet, actually maybe I'll wear my glasses. I can't remember in the books if we have met Sir Philip already. We must have. Kind of start with his perspective, I guess. Julia Quinn loves a prologue and an epilogue and a second epilogue. We start with his perspective, and he is married to Marlena. Is that her name? Oh fuck. Oh wait, but this is different because I believe that his wife, Marina. Okay, so in the like Netflix series, he marries Marina, who is Penelope's cousin. But in the books, he marries Marina, who is Eloise's cousin. So she's like a Bridgerton, or I guess she was a Bridgerton before she was a Crane. Yeah, anyway, either way, he was married, and he was widowed. Like, widowed. He becomes a widower because Marina just like dies. And sorry, it's not funny. But Marina dies in the prologue. It's the funniest thing because Sir Philip is just like, I guess, like, I just married her and, like, had some kids with her, and, like, it was fine, I guess. But, like, I didn't love her or nothing. He's, like, so nonchalant. He's, like, my freaking kid. And he's, like, so mad. Like, his wife, or his, like, yeah, his, like, dead wife literally was, like, had a mental illness. Like, she was, like, severely clinically depressed, and he's like, I just like, the only thing I care about is that my kids like have a happy mother, and like, why would she just so, he just like rags on her for just being mentally ill. And it's very sad. I mean, it's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny, but it's just like, dude, like, what are you talking about? So he's like, okay, I want to find like a new wife like ASAP, but mostly like I just want to have like mother for my kids because kids are like 7, and they also don't care. They're like, mom died, like I guess that's good because she was sad. Why does no one care about Marina? They treat her like shit. Anyway, Marina dies, and then Eloise basically just starts writing Sir Philip letters, which is where the title comes from, and I finally understood it, and I was like, yes. Okay, if you're ever wondering what that is, that's like my headband, and I just hang it there. I'm sorry. She just loves writing letters, and she writes him a letter basically just being like, I'm sorry your wife died, like, because she was a cousin and whatever. And they start like having this correspondence. It seems like at least the beginning of this book takes place like during the last book, because there's a part, the Penelope Collin book, whatever it's called, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton maybe, where Eloise is like, I'm writing letters to people like you don't even know. Maybe that's just her vibe, but like it seemed like she was hiding a secret, and like this seems like it was the secret that she was hiding, that she was talking to Sir Philip. And literally within the first 30 minutes of the audiobook and the first like, I guess, bit of the book, he is like, so I'm like, I've never met you or anything, but like I think we should get married. Like, I know you don't know me, but like I feel like that would be good. She's like, all right, slay. Like, he's like, okay, cool. That's where I'm at. I've not listened to a lot of it, but it's interesting. I have heard very mixed things about this one, as all of the books really, but Like, I feel like this one I've been seeing on Goodreads that people are not very pleased with Sir Philip. Is he just gonna be like every other Bridgerton man? I would expect nothing less from Julia Quinn. I don't know. I'm worried because it's Eloise's book, and like Eloise is probably one of my favorite characters, maybe just because she's a very strong character. Different, I guess. But like I like just got done with my homework for the day, so I am like now gonna have time to listen. I'll just update you, I guess, when I am like further through it. I did Google it, but it seems like this is gonna be another like, oh frick, what is it called? Like where they get caught like being alone and then they have to get married. The Marriage of Convenience, I feel like that's a different thing. Anyway, it seems like another one of those, which is like, I feel like Julia Quinn did herself so dirty making this like a 8-person family and like 8-book series, because all of these are the same. That was literally the first 2 books, like both of their setups were like, oh my gosh, they got caught like unchaperoned or like making out or something, like doing, which is like valid, but like how often is that becoming a problem that they have to do it for every freaking marriage? He did say that she was gonna bring a chaperone, so I'm not sure when that is gonna come into play, but I'm gonna finish doing my hair and I will update you when I have an update. So like not consent. What? I need someone to convince me not to DNF this book. I so want to cancel this video. So, I have like an hour left of my audiobook to Sir Philip with Love. Unfortunately, I'm not enjoying it. So it's literally like if you took out all of the redeemable qualities that I thought that the previous books had and just left this like boring romance with like a non-interesting / borderline abusive male love interest and a boring ass like female character that's like reduced to nothing, and like some really weird fetishization, is that the right word, of like virginity. Like all of these books, like every single time there's like, I don't know, maybe that's a thing in Regency. I don't know, I don't read a lot of historical romance, so I'm not sure if it's like literally every book they're like, oh my god, this is so crazy and borderline scary that this woman doesn't know what's going on to her. But at least she likes it, which is good. But like, I don't know, it's not my thing. Those are the current thoughts and feelings. I'm gonna finish this book and hope that when I start the next one, it'll be better. Wish me luck. Hello people. So this video took a turn. Was it a turn I was expecting? No. I'm wrapping up this video. And is it because I finished all the Bridgerton books? It's not. I wish I could say I was sorry to say that, but I'm not. Listen, I have set forth a couple of challenges to myself. I do it a lot. I do it often. I enjoy, you know, a good challenge, but at the end of the day, I can't read series in one video. I can't read them all at once, and I can't read this series anymore. It is beyond problematic. I knew what I was getting myself into to an extent, but I also didn't, and I read 5 fucking books out of 8. I'm sorry, I keep like clicking. I want to stop, and I was gonna scrap this video entirely, but I was like, I read 3 of these books for this video. I suffered through all of that, and I really just hope it's entertaining. Because I don't know why else I did it. I will probably not be doing a video like this in the near future. Even after I failed doing this video, I started doing another one, and I was like, I wish I like could learn from my mistakes. I wish I wasn't literally insane, but I'm not. So there's that. Would I recommend you read the Bridgerton books? No, not at all. Actually, I just don't think you should support them. I don't think you should give them your time, money, or energy. I think that they're beyond problematic, and they perpetuate some really gross, horrendous behavior. You know, I wish they were written like way longer ago than they were. These books are about as old as me. That's a scary thought. So, you know, take this for what it is. This is one of the few times I will say that the series, the TV series, has really improved upon the source material, and I would recommend watching it much more, many times over, than watching or reading these books. They're bad. That's the tea. There's no tea. Lady Whistledown is boring. She's dead. And I feel like this is just such, like, for a book series that claims to be all about, like, but it seems like it's claiming to be about female empowerment. It's just all about subservience and domesticating women. It really is like the modern day Taming of the Shrew, which is just sad. Honestly, I'm done talking about it. That's the tea. That's the tea on Lady Whistledown and the Bridgerton series. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will never do it again. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to all the things, and I'll see you in my next video.